Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something I've learned from years of talking to men, watching men, being a man. There's a little truth men don't often share out loud. We might act tough. We might act like nothing phases us, but when the woman we care about starts ignoring us, oh, trust me, we feel it. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about men that most women don't realize. And even if we do realize it ourselves, we will never tell you. It's about our pride. See, pride is the thing that makes a man stand tall, makes him feel like he's in control, makes him believe he's got everything under wraps. Pride is also the thing that stops us from admitting when something hurts. And if there's one thing that can mess with a man's pride, it's when the woman he's interested in ignores him. Now, here's the funny part. You think we don't notice. You think we're out here just going on about our business, too busy to care if you didn't text back, too distracted to notice that you didn't laugh at that joke or didn't answer that call. But inside, oh, we notice. We notice quick. The difference is we're not going to show you. Because to a man, showing that you've affected him is like handing you the keys to his emotions. And we ain't trying to do that. Not out loud, not in public, not even sometimes to ourselves. A man's pride is built on the idea that he's in control of the chase. He wants to be the one deciding when to call, when to show up, when to give attention. But the moment you flip that and stop giving him the easy access he used to, you turn the game upside down. And our pride, it doesn't like losing. So we start paying attention without letting you see we're paying attention. We'll be scrolling through our phone at midnight thinking, why hasn't she texted me yet? But if you ask us the next morning, we'll shrug and act like we didn't even notice. That's because men are taught from a young age not to let their emotions show too much. We're told to man up, to keep it together, to never let anyone know when something's gotten to us. So even when your silence is ringing in our ears, we put on this mask like we're unbothered. That mask is our pride talking. But don't mistake that pride for not caring. That's the trick. We care, we just won't say it until the fear of losing you gets louder than our ego. When you ignore a man, you trigger something in him that goes deeper than just wanting your attention. You touch that nerve that says, hey, maybe I'm not as important to her as I thought I was. And for a man, that's dangerous territory. Our pride thrives on being needed, being wanted, being the hero in your story. The second that starts to feel shaky, we start looking for ways to get that feeling back. But here's where it gets interesting. The more pride a man has, the more he's going to act like he's unaffected. That's why you'll see some guys double down, post a picture, act extra social, or flirt with someone else just to prove they're fine. It's all smoke and mirrors. The truth is, in the quiet moments when nobody's watching, that man is thinking about you. He's wondering if you're thinking about him. He's remembering the times you used to light up when you saw him. And the more those memories come back, the more he starts realizing he doesn't like this feeling of being left out of your world. That's when the pride starts to crack. That's when he starts sending those, hey, just checking in texts. Or suddenly showing up where he knows you'll be. He'll try to slide back in without admitting he missed you, because in his mind, admitting that would be like waving the white flag. But the reality is, ignoring a man makes him feel something he can't fully hide, no matter how good he is at pretending. So when you think he's not noticing your absence, trust me, he does. He just won't let you see it until he's ready to swallow a little bit of that pride to get your attention back. And that's when you know You've touched something deeper than just his heart. You've touched his ego. And for a man, that's the one thing we'll fight hardest to protect and to win back. When you stop giving a man the attention he's grown used to, something starts happening in his mind almost immediately. At first, he might not react on the outside. He'll keep his cool, stay in his routine, act like everything is business as usual. But inside, his brain is already running through 100 questions. Why isn't she responding like she used to? Did I do something wrong? Has she lost interest? Is there somebody else? That's curiosity kicking in. And for a man, curiosity is a powerful motivator. Men are naturally competitive creatures. We're built to chase, to win, to solve problems. When you stop engaging the way you used to, we treat it like a puzzle that needs to be solved. And the more we think about it, the more it eats at us. Even if we're telling ourselves we don't care, the truth is we can't stand not knowing where we stand. That's when the desire to get your attention back starts to grow. See, men don't just want your attention because it feels good. We want it because it confirms something for us. Your attention tells us we're doing something right. It reassures us that we've got your interest, that we're winning in your eyes. The second that reassurance disappears, we start working overtime to figure out how to get it back. That's when you see a man suddenly becoming more attentive, sending random messages, or trying to start conversations he wasn't starting before. It's not random, it's calculated. Even if he doesn't realize it, he's trying to reestablish that connection that made him feel secure in the first place. Now here's where it gets tricky. The more a man wants your attention back, the less likely he is to admit it. Instead of saying, I miss you, he'll disguise it with little actions. He might suddenly ask you questions he never used to ask. He might start showing interest in things you like. He might even get competitive with his own image, trying to look sharper, talk smoother, or seem more interesting. All because he's wondering if that will make you notice him again. Ignoring a man works on a psychological level because it creates a gap between what he wants and what he's getting. Men don't like gaps. We want certainty, we want answers, and we want to feel like we're in control. When you ignore him, you take away that control. And that's exactly what sparks the chase. It's the same concept as when you tell someone they can't have something, it suddenly becomes more valuable. Your time, your energy, your attention all become more precious in his eyes when he realizes they're not guaranteed. And the man who thought he had all of you suddenly starts acting like he has to earn you again. That's when you see the little changes. He starts texting first instead of you. He starts planning things instead of just showing up. He starts putting effort into making you laugh or smile. The truth is, curiosity is one of the strongest tools you have in shifting the dynamic with a man. When he's curious, he's thinking about you. When he's curious, he's noticing details he used to overlook. And when he's curious, he's motivated to act, because men hate the feeling of being replaced or forgotten. That desire to get your attention back can grow so strong that it pushes him to step up in ways he wasn't before. What you have to remember is the point isn't to play games. It's not about punishing him or making him jealous for the sake of it. It's about reminding him that your attention is something worth working for. When you pull back, you create space for him to realize just how much he values you. And once that realization hits, he'll start putting in effort to close the distance you've created. Ignoring a man doesn't mean disappearing completely. It means shifting the balance so he's the one reaching out more than you are. And that shift alone is enough to make him curious, make him a little restless, and make him start chasing that feeling he had when he first caught your eye. The more curious he becomes, the stronger his desire grows to win back what he feels slipping away. A man can have something amazing right in front of him and not truly understand how valuable it is until he feels it slipping away. It's human nature, but for men, it's especially strong. When we think something is always going to be there, we tend to get comfortable. We stop noticing the little things. We stop putting in the same energy we did in the beginning. Not because we don't care, but because we believe it's secure. Maybe we got it locked in. But the moment that certainty starts to fade, everything changes. When a man starts feeling like he could actually lose you, his mind goes into overdrive. Suddenly, all the things he overlooked start becoming crystal clear. He remembers the way you laugh at the things nobody else finds funny. He thinks about the way you look at him when you're proud of him. He notices the little acts of kindness you do without expecting anything back. And all of a sudden, what used to feel normal starts to feel rare, irreplaceable. This is why distance, silence, and pulling back can be so powerful. When you're always there, a man can fall into the trap of thinking you'll always be there. But the second you take a step back, he's confronted with a reality he doesn't like, that your presence is not guaranteed. And for a man, the fear of losing something valuable is often stronger than the comfort of having it. That fear wakes us up. When a man starts valuing you because he feels he might lose you, you'll see a shift in his actions. He becomes more intentional. He listens more closely. He invests more time. That's because men deep down know that once something truly valuable is gone, it's almost impossible to replace. We might be able to find someone new, but we can't recreate the exact way you made us feel. That's what starts hitting us when we feel you slipping away. The thing is, we don't like to admit this out loud. We won't say, I didn't realize how much you meant to me until you pulled back. Instead, we'll start trying to show you through our actions, hoping you'll pick up on it without us having to confess that we almost lost you. Pride plays a role here, but so does fear. Fear that if we admit how close we came to losing you, it'll show just how badly we took you for granted. Men are wired to protect what they value, but the truth is, sometimes we need a little jolt to remember just how valuable something is. That jolt often comes when we sense a change in your energy. Maybe you're not as quick to respond. Maybe you're not as available as you used to be. Maybe you've stopped putting in as much effort. Whatever it is, that shift triggers a realization. If I don't step up, I'm going to lose her. And that's when a man starts moving differently. It's like having a treasure chest you've left in the corner of the room. You've had it so long that you stop opening it. Stop appreciating what's inside. Then one day you notice it's not there anymore. And suddenly you remember every single thing that made it valuable to you in the first place. You kick yourself for not taking better care of it when you had the chance. That's exactly how men feel when they realize they might lose a woman who truly matters to them. The truth is, sometimes that fear of loss is the only thing strong enough to break through a man's complacency. Once he feels it, his mind starts replaying all the moments he didn't appreciate enough, and his heart starts pushing him to do better. He'll want to make sure you know he values you now, because the thought of losing you is far more painful than the comfort of acting like you'll always be there. And that's why men, even if they'll never admit it, often need to feel that possibility of loss before they truly step up and treat you like the priceless thing you are. A lot of people think attraction is all about looks, chemistry, and that physical spark you feel in the beginning. But the truth is, the strongest pull between two people isn't just physical, it's emotional. And one of the most powerful ways to build emotional pull is through space. Space is what makes a man miss you. Space is what makes him wonder about you, think about you, imagine you when you're not there. Without it, even the most exciting connection can start to feel ordinary. When you're always right there, always available, always ready to respond, there's no time for curiosity to grow. And curiosity is the seed of emotional attachment. A man can be physically attracted to you all day long, but that's surface level. What makes him emotionally hooked is when he starts thinking about you when you're not around. When he starts asking himself, what's she doing right now? Who's she with? Is she thinking about me? Those questions don't come when you're constantly in his face. They come when there's space. Space isn't about cutting someone off or disappearing completely. It's about allowing moments of absence so that presence becomes more valuable. Think about your favorite song. If you played it nonstop, day after day, eventually you get tired of it. But if you heard it once in a while in the right moment, it would still give you that same feeling you had the first time. That's what space does in a relationship. It keeps the feelings fresh. Men especially respond to space because it forces us to tap into our emotions. We're not always great at sitting around and talking about how we feel, but we know when something feels different. When we're used to a certain amount of attention and suddenly it's not there, we feel it. It makes us realize we want it back. That's emotional pull, that tug that says, I need to close this gap because I miss how it felt when she was close. Space also gives a man the opportunity to take initiative. If you're always filling the silence, always starting the conversation, always showing up, he never has to. But when you step back and give him room, you see what he chooses to do. Does he call you? Does he check in? Does he make an effort to see you? That's when you find out how much he's really invested. And when he does take that step towards you, it means more because it came from him, not because you pushed it. The beauty of space is that it doesn't just make him miss your physical presence. It makes him miss the emotional connection you share. He doesn't just think about how you look. He remembers how you make him feel. That's a deeper kind of attraction, one that lasts longer than any surface level chemistry. When you can make a man crave your presence emotionally, you've got something that's hard to replace. Sometimes women worry that giving space will push a man away. But here's the truth. If a little space is enough to make him lose interest, he wasn't truly invested to begin with. The men who really care will feel that space and move toward you because they want to close it. The wrong man will use space as an excuse to drift, but the right man will use it as motivation to pull you closer. When you create space, you're not just building mystery, you're building value. You're showing that you have your own life, your own priorities, your own energy that doesn't revolve around him. That independence is attractive. It makes a man respect you more because it shows you're with him by choice, not because you need him to fill your time. And respect paired with emotional pull is what keeps a man coming back long after the initial spark. That's why space is so powerful. It gives him room to feel, to miss, to remember, and to act. And those feelings, they create a pull that no amount of constant attention can match. Physical attraction might get his attention at first, but it's the emotional pull that space creates that keeps him wanting more. When you decide not to chase a man, you're doing more than just holding back your energy. You're teaching him how to treat you. From the very beginning, you set the tone for how much effort he's going to put in. If you're always the one initiating, always the one trying to fix things, always the one going out of your way to keep his attention, you've just told him you'll do the heavy lifting in the relationship. And once a man sees that, he has no reason to step up. Respect isn't given just because you want it. It's earned through your actions. When you show a man that you won't chase him, you send a clear message. You value yourself enough to let the right people come to you. You're not going to beg, you're not going to compete for attention, and you're not going to fight for a spot in his life if he's not giving you a reason to be there. That kind of self-respect forces him to look at you differently. Men are natural pursuers. We want to feel like we've earned what we have. When you flip the script and start doing all the chasing, you take away that drive. You make it too easy. And easy doesn't hold the same value. But when you don't chase, you create space for him to wonder, why isn't she calling me? Why isn't she trying harder? What does she have going on that's more important than me? That curiosity starts building respect because it shows him you're not desperate for his attention, you're selective. And here's the truth. Men respect what they have to work for. If you think about it, the things we value most in life are the things we had to put effort into getting. Relationships work the same way. When you make a man put in the effort, he's more likely to appreciate you and less likely to take you for granted. Not chasing doesn't mean ignoring him completely or playing games. It means you're not going to run after him just to keep him interested. It also sets the tone for boundaries. When you don't chase, you show him that your energy is not something he can take advantage of. You're not going to pour into someone who's not pouring into you. You're not going to give more than you getting. That balance is what creates mutual respect. A man who respects you will meet you in the middle instead of sitting back and letting you do all the work. Not chasing also reveals his true intentions. If a man is genuinely interested, he will step up when you stop chasing. He'll call, he'll check in, he'll make plans. But if he disappears when you pull back, that tells you all you need to know. He wasn't that invested in the first place. And while that might sting at first, it saves you time and energy that you can put into someone who actually values you. When you don't chase, you also maintain your dignity. There's nothing more unattractive than begging someone to notice you or convincing them to choose you. You're worth more than that. The moment you stop chasing and start letting things come to you, you carry yourself differently. You walk with confidence. You stop overthinking. And that energy, that calm, self-assured presence is exactly what makes people respect you without you having to demand it. Quince, respect is the foundation of any healthy relationship. Without it, love fades, trust breaks, and connection doesn't last. By refusing to chase, you're telling a man from day one that if he wants to be in your life, he's going to have to show up, put in effort, and match your energy. You're not there to convince him of your worth. You already know it. And that alone changes the way he treats you. Because a woman who respects herself will never settle for a man who... Confidence is one of the most powerful things you can have when dealing with a man. And it's not the loud, in-your-face kind of confidence people sometimes think about. It's that quiet, unshakable belief in your own worth. It's knowing that whether he stays or goes, you're still going to be good. And when you carry yourself like that, you change the way a man sees you instantly. Men can sense confidence the same way they can sense desperation. When you're unsure of yourself, when you feel like you have to earn someone's approval just to be chosen, you start acting in ways that give your power away. You overcompensate. You settle for less. You accept behaviors you shouldn't. But when you know your worth, you don't move like that. You set standards. You have boundaries. You make it clear through your actions that being with you is a privilege, not a guarantee. Confidence shifts the dynamic because it takes the pressure off you to perform for his attention. You're not chasing, you're not proving, you're not bending over backwards just to keep him happy. Instead, you're living your life, taking care of yourself and letting him see that you're already complete without him. That's attractive because it tells him you're there because you choose to be, not because you need to be. When a man sees that you value yourself, he automatically starts valuing you more. People treat you based on the example you set for how you expect to be treated. If you walk in like you're worth respect, you'll get it. If you act like you're worth effort, you'll receive it. But if you allow someone to give you the bare minimum, they'll keep doing it. Confidence in your worth stops that cycle before it starts. It also changes the way a man approaches you. A confident woman isn't easy to manipulate because she doesn't make decisions out of fear. She's not afraid of losing someone who's not treating her right because she knows she can stand on her own. That kind of energy forces a man to step up if he wants to keep you around. He knows he can't slack off and expect you to tolerate it. Confidence doesn't mean arrogance. It's not about thinking you're better than everyone else. It's about knowing you're enough as you are. It's about trusting that you bring value to the table without having to beg someone to see it. And when you operate from that mindset, you stop wasting time on people who don't recognize your worth. Men are drawn to women who have their own lives, their own goals, and their own sense of fulfillment. That independence is magnetic because it means you're not leaning on him to define your happiness. You're inviting him to be part of your life, not to be the center of it. And when a man realizes you're with him because you want to be, not because you have to be, it changes the way he respects and cherishes you. Confidence also changes how you handle conflict. You don't beg, you don't plead, and you don't compromise your values just to avoid losing someone. Instead, you stand firm, knowing that anyone who truly belongs in your life will meet you where you are. That strength is what makes a man see you not just as attractive, but as valuable